Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've seen a lot of content on here that suggests that we shouldn't spend too much time with the old-fashioned grammar translation method, something that I'm pretty sure is not a real method but is a marketing boogeyman, and that we should do a sort of back to nature, back to roots kind of thing. Learn like children learn a language, with little to no explicit instruction. So as the parent of a child and a linguist, I thought, why not address this? Because it sounds reasonable at first, but more often than not, it is madness. Genuine madness. If you're new to the channel, I'm Dr. Taylor Jones. I've got a PhD in linguistics from the University of Pennsylvania. And on the channel, I discuss everything related to language, linguistics, language learning, and culture. If you're into those topics, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Today, I'm talking about why you don't have what it takes to learn the way a child does. This is Language Jones. First things first, I have to probably explain that this is not a video defending your bad high school Latin teacher. Do people still have high school Latin teachers? Or your French textbook, or whatever? Hitting somebody with a boring-ass paragraph describing grammar rules with arcane jargon that requires the learner of French, or whatever, already know Greek and Latin. Stress is typically on the antepenult, and the pro-pretonic syllable may be reduced when the vocalic element is in hiatus, ceteris paribus, and vice versa, quod erat demonstratum, exempla gratis, expecto patronum verbum. Now, that stuff sucks. I'm also not even here to tell you that children's brains are more plastic and make connections differently and more easily, or that they seem to be extremely sensitive to the same range of grammatical and phonological features cross-linguistically so that it appears as though there's an innate language acquisition modality in children's brains. I'm here to tell you what kids actually do and that you don't have the guts to even try it. By way of example, I have a very verbally precocious 2.5-year-old. Of course she's verbally precocious. I say things like verbally precocious and vacate the premises to her all the time, and I'm the less verbose, loquacious, and articulate parent. Point being, she talks. And people keep thinking they're having a conversation with her because she speaks clearly and understandably, and it sounds like she's having a conversation with them. One example is the few times I've seen her recently tell somebody, "You did it on purpose." For instance, her mom spilled some oatmeal at breakfast. "You did it on purpose. Do you realize what you could have done?" And then the adult is usually like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry, I actually didn't mean to, but don't worry, it's just oatmeal." Or even, "What could I have done?" But here's the thing. I know the truth. And the truth is that despite being good parents who limit screen time and monitor what our child can watch and who go days and days on end without screens, bear with me here, two things can be true at the same time, I know that she's also watched Cinderella approximately 900 billion times in the last 2 months. We downloaded it onto an iPad when we were going to fly to Italy, so that's like, I don't know, August? And there's a scene where one of her stepsisters, Cinderella as it is, gets bonked with a flute during a music lesson, and she says, and I quote, "You did it on purpose."
You clumsy! You did it on purpose.
Similarly, "Do you realize what you could have done?" is 100% the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, or as my daughter calls him, Grumpy Man. It's when Belle tries to touch his rose without consent, and oh my god, I'm just realizing a layer of this around consent. Anyway, she tries to touch his private, how was I not getting this before? His personal stuff, and he slams the bell jar. Wait, is Belle no, too much, that's grasping. He slams the bell jar down and bellows, "Do you realize what you could have done?"
Do you realize what you could have done?
I know this not just because I've seen these movies a bajillion times, but also because she has also been walking around just saying those things, just for the mouthfeel of the sentences, just muttering to herself, "You did it on purpose. Do you realize what you could have done?" It was very disconcerting the first time. Toddlers are scary. But there's no real communicative content behind it. She also, and this is completely normal, tried out the sentences at different times. So you get a real reaction from adults when they spill something and you say, "You did it on purpose." But she found out from trial and error that you don't really get anything but a confused reaction when you say you did it on purpose following, like, putting on your shoes or, I don't know, sitting down or whatever. So you want to learn like a child? Pick a movie you like and watch it. Then watch it again. Then watch it again. 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 There's no adult in this scenario to tell you no. You're the adult after all, and you want to behave like a child. Then, when it's bedtime, read Corduroy by Don Freeman approximately 37 times. Maybe that was too specific an example. The next day, watch that movie again, and again, and again, and do that for a few months. You're going to have certain turns of phrase not just on the tip of your tongue, but also just ringing in your ears all the time. All joking aside, there are two things that we can actually learn from how children learn. First, they absolutely love repetition and don't care about embarrassing themselves by using the wrong thing at the wrong time. Confused looks, that's all day, every day, baby. Second, they actually aren't that great at it. After 2 years of study, do you want to sound like the equivalent of saying, I waked up and then I maked my breakfast and then I goed to school, but I fall down the ball. But the teacher catched it and throwed it to me. Then I eated lunch. Then we all taked a nap, and I sleeped, but the other kids didn't sleep. No, you can actually analyze things and learn complicated grammatical structures much, much faster by leveraging your adult brain, assuming you have one. But for memorization, maybe it doesn't hurt to watch the same content over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. After all, with all the time that you spent not watching the same video on repeat, do you realize what you could have done? If you like what I'm doing with the channel, you can support it on YouTube with super thanks or over on Patreon at patreon.com/languagejones. Please leave me a comment. They are great for the algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, happy learning.